Okay, sorry guys. For some reason the video cut off, but it's okay. We're gonna go ahead and continue working. And so now we're on our board equals paper. I'm sorry, our vocabulary word work. And so yes, Monday we kind of did a review on prefixes. Yesterday we talked about pre, which is something we've learned before. Today, guys, I wanted to introduce you to two more prefixes that we have not learned. Voc and dict. You know why I'm looking at you. Boys, don't even try it. Okay? So voc means call, right? That is what that prefix means. And then dict means um, to say. Okay, so all of both of these prefixes have these meanings, and when you put them with the root word, it creates a different meaning, right? So here I actually kind of listed a few words that are in our word bank based on the prefixes that we have here. So vocation, right? I'm going to highlight that. Vocation, right? A vocation is basically like a job or a calling in a certain work or service. So my vocation is a teacher. I'm a teacher. That's my calling. That's my job. So a vocation is a job, right? What you're called to do. Addictive, okay? So when I'm going to highlight the root in there. Sometimes Greek and Latin roots, and I said prefix, I'm sorry, but it's really Greek and Latin roots. Sometimes Greek and Latin roots can be either at the beginning of words, it could be in the middle, or it could be towards the end, okay? In this case, addictive, it is in the middle of the word. So addictive is like a habit forming, hard to break, easy to say yes, right? To say yes. So when you're addicted to something, you're saying yes to that, right? So let's say I was addicted to my cell phone. I'm saying yes every time someone calls me. I'm saying yes to texting. I'm saying yes to being on there all the time. Let's say if I'm addicted to water, let's say I'm saying yes to drinking it all the time, okay? Now, the next word is vocalist. Voc, right? What does that mean? Voc means to call. A vocalist is a singer. They're calling out, right? Evocation. Evocation. These are harder words, guys, but this is the thing. In order to figure out what a hard word is or what it means, you have to look at the roots, right? There may be a root word in there. This is why we include roots, so that you can decode words. You can break them down to try to figure out what they mean. So in a text, if I was reading avocation, I would know that voc means to call. So avocation must be something about calling, right? And avocation is like a hobby, right? It's something that you practice for enjoyment, right? So my avocation is theater, right? It's a hobby for me. It's something that I do because I enjoy it. And then contradict, right? To contradict yourself means to say one thing, but then you do the opposite, right? So if you contradict yourself, let's say that I say, oh my God, like I hate perfume, girl. I'll never wear perfume. But then I'm at home like this, spraying my perfume. I'm contradicting myself because I'm saying one thing here and then I'm doing another. So the fact that we know what these words mean, now we can go ahead and put them in, we have like a paragraph, and we're going to put them inside of the paragraph based on what these words mean, okay? Chocolate candy bars taste so good that they are habit forming. Some chocolate loves jokingly call chocolate and blank substance. So if it is habit forming, that means that it's hard to say no. That means you're always saying yes, when you have chocolate, which is me, it must be an addictive substance. And for me, I'm going to admit that chocolate is very addictive. I love it. Okay, I wouldn't blank those people because I eat chocolate bars all too regularly, and I use chocolate in most of my cakes. So I wouldn't contradict those people, right? So they're not speaking against it. Okay. Trust me, I know that these are hard, but it's going to build up our stamina for learning new words. Okay, so just follow along with me. Try to see if you can guess what they are before I give you the answer. Since I work in a bakery, I guess baking is my blank. So baking, it must be her calling, and so it must be her vocation. And remember, the difference between vocation and avocation is avocation is a hobby, vocation is a job. So the fact that she works in the bakery, that's her vocation. Okay? But I also enjoy making chocolate desserts so much that it seems like my avocation. So you see how that changes? And avocation is what she likes to do. Okay. And then we have vocalist, which is the last one. Thank goodness my weekend job as the blank for a small band keeps me away from chocolate on Saturdays and Sundays. So she is the vocalist on weekends for a small band. Okay, so you see how we use those meanings and those roots to fill in the blank. Okay, good. Now let's move on to our board equals paper. Okay, this is something really easy. We're just going to go and fill these in. 2 types of genres. I'm going really fast because we talked about this for several weeks. We have fiction, and then we have nonfiction, right? Fiction is not true. Nonfiction is true. We're just going to cut that out. Okay, so guys, this is new information. New information. Most of these we already know, but it's just a review. So what are nonfiction genres, right? We talked all about fictional genres. What are nonfictional genres? So the first nonfictional genre is an autobiography. First of all, I want to point out the fact that auto is a Greek and Latin root. And auto means self, right? Auto means self, right? Bio means life, right? When you can literally break down this whole word to figure out what it means, right? And so an autobiography is a blank story about a person written by blank blank, right? So it is a life story about a person written by that person. Okay? So an autobiography is basically a book about the person's life, right? That person is actually writing their own book about their life. So for example, if I was to write an autobiography, I would be writing a book about my life because auto means self. Now, on the contrary, on the opposite, a biography is a life story written by another person. Okay? So, let's use this as an example. If I had a story about my life, and Miss Curry wrote the story, that would be a biography because she's writing the story about me. An autobiography is when I write the story about myself. Again, a biography is when Miss Curry writes a story about me. An autobiography is when I write a story about myself. Okay? So don't get those confused. When you think about auto, think about self, okay? All right. Now, an informational article is something that all of us know. We have been reading articles forever, since the beginning of the school year. An informational article is information that gives real, and you should know this, facts about a specific what? Some of y'all should already know. Topic. Yep, if you said it, you were right. So an informational article, of course, it gives us lots of information about real facts about a topic. So if we were reading an article about cheerleading, that's the topic, and it would be giving us information about what cheerleading is, what are the different types, all of that. Okay? Let's keep on moving because we're running out of time. I want to make sure we get this. So here's the model. We have 3 passages. We have to figure out, is it a biography, an autobiography, or an informational article? So this first passage says, Dreams from My Father, a story of race and inheritance written by Barack Obama. It says, and I'm going to mark it up. So the title being here is no coincidence. The text was written by Barack Obama, right? This is an actual book. He began saying, I was born in 1961 to a white American woman and a black Kenyan student. He's constantly saying I was raised in Hawaii by these are clues that I'm picking out, mother and her parents. My father had left for a further study and returned home to Africa. So my not unhappy youth is nevertheless a lonely voyage to racial identity, tensions in school, and struggling with Black literature. So guys, the fact that Barack Obama wrote this book and he's constantly saying he's talking about his own life and what happened to him. He's writing a book about his story. And so I know when I go back to that board equals paper, a story that's written about the life of a person by that person is an autobiography, right? And so this must be Barack Obama's autobiography. And I'm going to put that in color so you guys can see. Remember, in your Google form, make sure that you are writing. In your Google form, I'm sorry guys, that was mine, Alexa. In your Google form, make sure. Alexa, stop. So in my Google form, sorry guys. Alexa, stop. Sorry guys, that was weird. So in your Google form, make sure that you are writing in lowercase so it won't mark it wrong. So I know because the passage is about Barack Obama writing a book about his life. Okay? Now, let's go to passage 2. We may have 3 videos just because there was a lot going on today. So don't be concerned if we have 3 videos, okay? All right, passage 2. And I won't even go through this super long because you should know what it is. Recess. Recess is the topic. Is most children's favorite time of day, and parents and teachers should encourage this. This article, and I don't really even have to read all of it. I can already tell that this is an informational article talking about recess, right? And so here, I know that this is an informational article. It's just really simple, especially when you start off with the topic, right? So this is an informational article, okay? And then it says, how do you know? So guys, the video is probably going to cut off, which is fine. We're going to have 3 videos for Wednesday, and that's totally okay.